Hello and welcome back to another Irish Health Hour episode of our podcast. And today I'm joined by Barbara Edwards of Be Coached, and Barbara is situated in Donegal town. So we're going to start the conversation by talking to Barbara about a wonderful event that she has organised in Donegal. Barbara, you're welcome.
Hi Dolores, how are you? It's great to finally meet you face to face. It's brilliant.
Sure.
The event is it's on the 23rd of January. It's called Well Expo, and it can be found at wellexpo.ie. But the whole point of the event and how it was born is, as you say, I'm a coach and Be Coached, and just meeting clients and people around the town, and I'm based in a wellness centre, so there's a lot of traffic that will come through there, and from talking to clients coming in, whether they're seeing me or seeing the other therapists or whatever, they kind of got the feeling that there's something was needed to let them know even further on what's out there apart even from ourselves, because there's an awful lot of small businesses, small entrepreneurs, whether it's reflexology, acupuncture, physiotherapy, sports therapy, all that kind of thing that people don't think of if something happens or something goes wrong. And they can be equally as accessible as maybe, and I'm saying this, but I don't want to do it down, because obviously I use a GP myself.
Of course.
But sometimes it can be equally as accessible to attend,
Absolutely. I think these therapies work hand in hand anyway, I mean, as a therapist myself, I always, advise people. I think that energy therapies are phenomenal, they're because they work on a person's energetic level and can work so well in tandem with the person's GP's advice, etc., and the medications that people were on. So none of us ever really, we encourage people.
Yeah, we're not. Exactly. I mean, you can be standalone for, some basic things, say, but then for obviously bigger issues, they're definitely complementary, and they can ease the stress and the strain of everything that you're going through, and everybody everybody that I work alongside, like, we're all highly qualified and we all know and understand it. And we would never say, I mean, I've had, people come to me coaching, and, you could be a few sessions in and you'll click into something, and I'll stop them. I'll say, no, hang on a second, that's your grief coming through. That's not, whatever it was you came to see me for.
Yeah.
So I'll stop and I'll say, no, you need, I'll pass you on to somebody who's specialist in that field.
Yeah, and I think as coaches, it's like that, as you say yourself. I'm a coach as well myself, so when we're going through coaching sessions with people, we come to the root cause. And
yes, exactly.
And I think
that's it. And when you dig in and you find something like that, so it was through all of that, then I kind of said, we need to put something out there. We need to let people know the different things that can really help them when it comes to their wellness. And I know that word wellness is bandied about and it's kind of overused and whatever, but wellness, something that works for one person is not going to work for another. So the lineup on the day, then, the whole picture that I had in my head, and it has thankfully come to fruition, was from Smallies right the way through to, say, my own presentation, which is on menopause. So,
wonderful.
Possibly the parent of the 5-year-old won't be around for my talk. I don't know. I'd love them if they were, but we've started the day that way. So we have Rinka.ie come in, and Sarah there is going to be working with the children, and she's going to be doing activities with the kiddies and talking to the parents about, how to make exercise, how to de-gadget your child and make the exercise fun, and make what's her tagline? Making fitness child's play. And that's what it's all about.
Great. So she starts off the day, is she doing a workshop or is she speaking? Is it an interaction? Okay,
It's
cool.
both. Yeah, so there's a talk first and then she's running activities. Now she's timed for after school. Her activities are timed for after school for when the children finish school. So they can actually come down from school in the afternoon and do that.
Brilliant.
We also have Susie Ladola is a psychotherapist and she's giving 2 talks. And one is directed at teenagers, for teenagers and their mental health. And the other talk, which is on video and is actually on our YouTube channel, which I finally set up the Well Expo YouTube channel. She's also going to be talking to parents of teens, of which I am one. And you are there too, as far as saying yes. And what to expect, even in that pre-teen stage, you know, and how to keep your own sanity and how to work with your teen and things like that. And the challenges that might come up. So she's there.
And she's great. I actually did a course with her CBT, the cognitive behavioural therapy. You know, she's great.
That as well.
Yeah,
yes.
No, it's great, I think, because there again, we're going back, I think, to looking at the root cause. And I think it's wonderful that you're starting with children as well, because there again, as coaches, we know that a lot of our limiting beliefs in that form when we're young. So isn't it so wonderful that that they're very lucky, the people in Donegal and the environs, have a chance to actually, you know, even if you don't have children, we can look at what will come up in these kind of workshops and say, gosh, I wonder, is that, you know, how maybe a limiting belief of mine formed. So wow, sounds great.
Yeah, and then we also have, and I've mentioned 2, so I better mention the other speakers that are on board, is that we have Sharon Thompson. Sorry, I've S's. Yeah. I've all the S's in all the names. Sharon Thompson is a published author, and she's going to be giving a talk and a workshop on writing for wellness.
Wonderful.
And the power of writing, and maybe if you wanted to start journaling, or that fear that you might have of putting pen to paper and what can happen out of that. Okay, and then we've also included pregnancy.
Great.
Because we have Lorraine Boyce is from Letterkenny, from Down Below Physio, and she works with women who are pregnant or post-pregnant, and I mean, it was just ironic. Or purely coincidental. I happened to meet a girl I knew the other day, and I said, "Are you all right?" And whatever part of, it's that long since I've been pregnant, I can't remember the names of all the bits now, I'll just tell you that. But something had displaced or dislocated. And she was going to be going up to Lorraine at some point and is going to talk to her now, I know, at the event. Because that's what she would do. So she works with that. So even those who are, in fact, you could say kind of, you know, pre-taught from the pregnancy, then you're into the toddlers, how to get them fit. Okay, then we have our teenagers. Okay, and then for the adult, I suppose, for moms and dads. And, you know, this is the thing, people automatically think, oh, sure, it's just for women.
Yeah.
And it's not actually. Because men can write too. Men can avail of acupuncture as well for stress and anxiety.
Absolutely.
Men can also avail of coaching. And even though my presentation may be on mind your menopause, if you happen to have a partner,
exactly,
they also need to mind your menopause, you know, because it does have a big impact on them. So I would be encouraging partners, you know, to come as well, you know, because my husband, God love him, I was probably just as well. He can't attend the day because he's off somewhere. So everybody's just going to hear my side of the story when it comes
I think that's so wonderful. And I'm glad you brought it up because, you know, I was involved in organising an event in Galway last year as well. And, you know, really was about encouraging men as well, because, you know, this is a mental health and well-being event. Like, men have mental health and well-being as well. And so most definitely, I think, and there are a lot of therapists, and I know that you have some people there attending as well, men there attending with their tables, with whatever they do, which is great, you know. And it's, and I love
and actually one of the exhibitors is actually the men's shed. So we will actually have the men's shed will be there on the day, you know. So there are I'd only confirmed this morning there are 22 exhibitors. So it's full, the exhibition area. Like, this is the first event of its kind,
Well
and
done.
it's been, up here in the Northwest, and it's been held in the Abbey Hotel, and they are just fantastic. Bent over backwards. They were brilliant to deal with, and
I wish
the
I was
space.
closer.
I know, and I'm so enthusiastic about it, and like I can see who's going to be there. Do you know what I mean? And I know who's taking part, and I will be doing more promos on this is who you're going to meet on the day.
Sure.
Because if I mention one now, I'll actually have to mention all 22 of them. So
of course, I know, and that's I know where you're coming from when you're talking.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
I will have
exactly.
links anyway to I'll have links to Well Expo that people can go into and look then at the website, and we can also put a link into the YouTube channel so that people can get a better feel, because I love that as well. I think people resonate with different people, and I think whilst I pick on poor Sharon Thompson, I know Sharon, I haven't met her, but I feel like I know her like that too. I mean, I'm a big advocate for journaling, and I'm an author myself, and I know the power of writing. So like, by someone listening to her and you interviewing her and she explaining, people will go, wow, I get it now. So I think it's great that you're allowing people get a feel for the person before the event.
Yeah, I have to say, because like putting it together, I was kind of saying, yeah, but what areas of mental health and wellness, should I be? And then I kind of said, well, actually, different things work for different people. So I know this is a first event. And I hope people, when they come, will see it as that, yeah, actually, that bit was definitely for me. Maybe that bit wasn't. And then somebody else comes and say, yeah, but that was for me. And the next. So there is a really broad range. I know one of the girls, there's going to be a mindfulness workshop early in the day as well. There's a free Pilates session. I mean, you've got all your speakers. You have free Pilates, free mindfulness, the free kids activities that Sarah will be doing with the children, and under 12s are free.
Brilliant.
So there's no reason that if you want to go yourself in the afternoon or whatever after you pick up the kiddies from school. Once they're in primary school, they just come with you. They're free. They do need a ticket. They have to be accompanied as well by a ticket, but it is a free ticket. They just actually need a ticket. And we have a charity partner as well.
Fantastic.
Up here in Donegal Town, and that's the Blue Stack Foundation. And they do an awful lot of work. They're based in Donegal Town. They work with special needs. And they started the Blue Stack Foundation Choir. And Wendy will be giving a speech. Wendy McCarry is the lady who is in charge down there. I don't want to say she runs it, because it looks like they have more fun than actually working anytime. Yeah, which is great, and the children love it. And it is a fantastic resource to have here in the town. But of course, like all, they need money and they need funds to run. And as you know, I'm a musician, and my background is I'm a classical musician and trained. And when I heard, the choir, I kind of went, well, I know there is definitely one good thing for mental health, and that's music.
Yeah,
and
true.
Yeah, absolutely. And my chill out is actually sitting at the piano. That's, that would be what I would do. I could sit at the piano for 3 or 4 hours and wouldn't bat an eye. I wouldn't even see it go by.
My teenager is like that as well. Actually, my teenage son, his go-to kind of escapism as well is like he would play the piano. Well, it's the keyboard. We don't have a classical piano or anything, but someday. But it's great because I can see that for him. It's great too. And I think any outlet like that, music is wonderful. Music is energy, the energy of the notes. I mean, isn't it all about our vibration, raising our vibration when we start to play a tune? And it can really take us, I think, from no more than writing, from one place of feeling stuck. It just opens and lifts our vibration to a much happier place.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's completely, that is my switch off zone. So much so that the kids, now my youngest, when I say the kids, my youngest is 17, that if I am playing, only if it's an emergency that they come in, and they've had that since they were small. When mommy's playing the piano, that's my out time. Yeah, that's my space, So the Blue Stack Foundation have a choir, and they're going to be singing us out at the very end of the event. So they're going to perform at the end of the event, and every ticket sold, actually there's, they gain financially from every ticket sold, that then they're, when everything is all done and dusted the following week, then they'll be presented then with their check. So even though people are buying a ticket to come to the event for themselves, their ticket is actually providing funding then for the Blue Stack Foundation. So yeah, and hopefully, they can buy more instruments, or they can, keep the music going. And sheet music, like, it's actually quite dear, so even for songs and arrangements, if they want to do things like that. So yeah, so that's it. So I am really looking forward to it, but I haven't slept a wink.
And I know that feeling only too well. So listen to me, if somebody was, let's say all the different things that are on, and it's a great array, is it the case that somebody like might say they don't buy a ticket for the full day, or can they? Or do they just think maybe, well, I can only make that, so I'll get the ticket? Is it the same entry ticket that covers everything? So, and if there's
it's the ticket. The ticket is, yeah. I mean, when I was planning it, I was saying, oh gosh, because yourself, you go, well, I could do a ticket for an entry plus this, or an entry plus this and this. And then I went, no, do you know what?
Yeah.
A ticket, you can be there. It runs from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay,
so
cool.
your ticket
covers everything.
Everything. And because of that, the workshops then that are happening, it's first come, first serve. And that's it. So if it's full, it's full. And that was the kind of the best way then that I could think of doing it.
Right. And they're in the hotel, so I mean, I suppose people could, like, I could see myself doing this as well, maybe going, first thing in the morning, and then maybe having lunch in the hotel. You can always go out, I presume, and have a quick look around, get a breath of fresh air, and go back in then and wait around for another workshop that you want. It's phenomenal.
Oh, you see, yeah, exactly. Once you have your ticket and you've signed in, yes, it is. I mean, the day is there. And the thing is, you don't even have to go very far for rambling around, because at the back of the function room, you overlook Donegal Bay. Oh. So it is. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely stunning now, I have to say. So, yeah, so that, as I say, that came from being a coach and working with therapists, and, even from, if I go right back then into my history, even how I became a coach was from teaching music and seeing that look in someone's eyes saying, yeah, I can do that. And kind of thinking to myself, okay, well, if I'm having that effect with this, and I know I can motivate you doing that and help you, that was then when I started looking into the coaching,
And great. And, on this event, you've said that you're helping people. It's January. The energy of January, as we all know only too well, is like, okay, let's get going, let's do this. And even if you're not one of those people, it's very hard not to get pulled into the energy of that. But really, realistically, as you say on the Expo page, it's about looking at things in small chunks, having smart goals, I guess, rather than saying, I'm going to lose £10, I don't know, sorry, or whatever, or I'm going to lose 2 stone in January, quite possibly unrealistic. Well, it definitely would be for me anyway. I don't want to lose 2 stone, but like an unrealistic goal, because then
I know what you mean.
The shame and the guilt, I didn't do it. So this is allowing people to have,
and that's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens, and that's why, like, if somebody says, when somebody comes to you as a coach, which yourself, and they're saying, I have this issue, and you go, all right, that's fine. We sit down and let's have a look. And then you start pulling things apart, and then they go, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, and I didn't think that, because you actually look, it's not just at that issue you're looking at, you're looking at everything else around them within their life. That, you're looking at family, you can be looking, well, if they have a career, what you're looking at, what's happening in their career, you're looking at what's happening emotionally, you're looking at a value system, and everything comes into play. So then you're breaking it down into manageable little bite-sized bits. And it's the same thing for, your wellness. Like, I could pick up the journal tonight, because maybe I have and yourself, planning an event, your brain is kind of in overdrive, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I might start writing now, but I might only write 4 lines, but it only took 4 lines to get it out of my head. And another night it could take 2 pages.
Yeah.
But all those little bits, whether it's 4 lines tonight and 5 lines tomorrow night, and maybe next week I could write, half a diary. It's all those little bits that add up, and it won't be consistent. It won't be that, as you were saying about the weight, it won't be the same measure every day to relieve that stress. It will be, it'll be longer. It's like an elastic band. Some days it'll be pulled out
Absolutely.
to this, and other days it'll be just this. But actually, as long as everything is still kind of working back and forth, and all those little bits add up, every little drop makes a big puddle.
Love it. And I also think of my mother, God rest her soul, used to have a pressure cooker, and that
the whistle at the top.
You'd have to just, the back door would be open every day. She used it nearly every day of her life, and this huge pressure would just escape. And I use that as a sort of a metaphor, I guess, that if we don't do the small actionable steps like that you mentioned there, that if you don't get the four lines out today, that pressure is building up, and then what can happen sometimes, and I know I've done it myself, is I explode, and then it's like this oh my God, I just feel like the pressure cooker, those small actionable steps help us getting to a stage where we do explode, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And funnily, it's only when you actually, people need to allow themselves that time. You don't just give it to yourself. You don't have to ask permission from anybody. This is when it comes to your own, I'm probably back and forth here the way I'm saying this, because
no, you're not.
I trip over my words because I want to get so much out. But okay, I'm a mum, you're a mum, okay. But if either of us are sick or whatever, we're no use to anybody else in the house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people need to, if they just think of themselves, they will actually, okay, if it's a mom saying, well, who relies on me? Okay, well, if I'm not in my, best
energy,
form today, what impact is that going to have?
And it sure does have a ripple effect.
Yes, that's the phrase I was looking for, the ripple effect, and it does knock on. And, so yeah, take that time out, whether it's coming up to Donegal, which I'd love to see you, of course, at Well Expo. Yes. So whether it's doing that, or my favorite actually is, apart from the piano, but particularly in summer, is sitting out in the back step when the sun is shining with a cup of tea. And no phone, nothing. I went for a walk this morning. The phone was silent, and so I couldn't, there was no buzzing, beeping or whatever, just the camera on to take a picture of the dog. And that was it when we were out for a walk.
I love it. And you know what? That's your thing, and that's what you get your release from. And I know nature anyway, I think does that for most of us. This event, Barbara, well done for organising it, because it isn't an easy task to organise, because there's so much goes on in the background. So I think it's great that you're doing it, and especially that it's the first one. But somehow I don't think this is going to be the last one, because I think a lot of people can kind of stand back and wonder, and it's no disrespect to anyone, obviously, I don't know what this is about, I'm not too sure. They might kind of take a look at a video, they might say, we'll see, and maybe they might go next time. But I'd say after this first one, somehow you're going to have a queue at the next one.
Well, fingers crossed, because I had to laugh. As I said, the last of the stands sold last night. And what happened? I had 3 inquiries this morning, and I'm going, I'm sorry, I can't do anything. Unfortunately, I cannot make the hotel any bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, and isn't that so wonderful? And these things do come together at the end. And I know it's very easy for me saying it to you after having done one, and somebody else had to say that to me, because they do come together at the end. And that's Donegal town, isn't it? Yeah, at the Abbey Hotel.
It is Donegal town, on the Diamond in Donegal town, the Abbey Hotel.
You're a catchment area like is Sligo.
Well, this is it. Is it. We're equidistant from Sligo, Enniskillen and Letterkenny. So anybody who knows the Northwest, actually, it's the same distance time-wise from those 3 locations. But if you go kind of between them, then you're heading kind of Leitrim, Cavan, Monaghan. So you've all of that up there.
All of that area. So Barbara, if somebody wanted to contact you to work with you as a coach, let us know quickly how they can do that.
Yeah, it's becoached.ie, which that's BECOACHED, and that's BE for my initials, becoached.ie. And they can email me through that. They can get me on barbara@becoached.ie. Yeah, and all my coaching, everything is up there. Pricing is up there, so I don't hide behind anything, and hopefully people will see me and say, yeah, okay, I can work with her. There's energy there, there's positivity there.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And it's you're stepping into your power in this as well, and I love that. I think it's great. But somebody doing this, like, you are inspiring other people to kind of say, well, if I can do this too.
Yeah, well, you see, this is it. And I mean, I'm 52. So
I'm older than
you. You're older than me. I'm only 2 days 52, but I am 52. But, I like this coaching journey, if you want to say to it. Okay, you might say, well, my teaching, yes, I started it there. But no, I was in my late 40s when I decided, so there is always, I love learning. So there is always something to learn.
We're quite like us too.
Yeah, always something to experience, and I love what I do. Absolutely.
And that's wonderful, and I think that really comes across anyway in speaking to you. So Barbara, if somebody wants to get more information, give the website a shout out again, the best way for people to contact.
Yeah, the event itself is wellexpo.ie. So it's all one word, wellexpo.ie, and all the information is there on it. You can actually get your tickets directly on the site too. You can click through to our charity partner, the Blue Stock Foundation. There's a lovely image there from them, and you can click through all everything about the speakers is there as well, so they can see that. Fantastic. The lineup, the timings, and it's all on the site. All on the site.
Great, that's phenomenal. Just quickly before we go, anything I forgot to ask you that you want to throw in there, or are we okay?
I think that's okay. I mean, you get all that for €20 for the event.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
that's it. That's the ticket price. It's €20. Yeah. So,
well, I can't wait to share this with people because I think it's great. And again, I would say to you, well done.
Thank you.
And you probably will be going further afield. I'd say you'll be asked, would you like to do it in Letterkenny maybe, or would you like to do it in Enniskillen?
Brilliant. No, absolutely. Contact me. Absolutely no bother. I tell you, I'll help anybody with their event. That's no problem.
Well, thanks very much for chatting to us today on the Irish Health Hour podcast. It was a pleasure, Barbara, and best of luck with your event.
Thank you so much, Dolores. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope I haven't offended anybody out there. I'm so passionate about it.
I'll chat to you again.
You too. Bye-bye.